So hello students, today is lecture number 9 of Introduction to C++. So today we are going to look at some exemplary programs related to loops. Okay, so as we had discussed the different types of loops, that is while loop, do while loop, then for loop, and we had also discussed about nested loops, right? So this is an example of, as you can see on the screens, this is an example of nested loops. This is an example of nested loops. Okay, now in this program, as you all know, that let us look at the code. In this program, let's see this part, the first part which is highlighted. This first part is known as the header file, right? So we are familiar with this. So this is known as the header file, and using namespace std, that is include all the standard library functions or files. Okay, now coming down, this is the main function. This, my dear friends, students, this whole part is the main function till this parenthesis, this one, this parenthesis. Okay, so now going to the code. So here is int a equal to 5, b equal to 1, c equal to 9. So my dear friends, students, this int a equal to 5, this is a declaration of a variable named a, b and c. So what are the three variables being declared here? A, b and c, right? And we have also assigned the values of a as 5, b as 1 and c as 9. As you can see on your screens, these are the three values being initialized. Now let us understand the code. Now let us look at the code. So in here we have three variables. In here we have three variables. For example, we have, let us say, three boxes. So let us assume that these are three variables. Okay, so let us assume that these are three variables named a, b and c. These are the three variables here. So now as you can see on your screens, a has been assigned the value 5, b has been assigned the value as 1 and c has assigned the value 9. So 9 is assigned to c, if I am not wrong. 9 is assigned to c, 1 is assigned to b and 5 is assigned to a. So these are the three variables. Now look at the next part. The first condition says if a greater than b. Okay, if a greater than b. So my dear friends, if a greater than b, that means we are comparing these two values, right? But ultimately we have to compare this to this as well. We have to compare a and b, as well as we have to compare a and c, right? That is why if a greater than b, and inside this a greater than b, this loop, we have another loop which is if a greater than c. So that means we are doing both the checking at a single time. Is a greater than b and is a greater than c. These two conditions are being checked. So if a greater than b, and inside it we have a greater than c, then we have the result or output as a is the largest number, and if not, then c is the largest number. Now in this part we have, in the else part we have Now we are done comparing these two, A and B, A and C. Now which two are left? We have B and C comparison left. Now if B greater than C, we have B is the largest, or else we have C as the largest number. So I hope you are getting my logic. First of all, we compared these two, A with B and A with C, right? After that, we compared B with C. Okay. Now let us look at the code once again. My dear students, here A, if A greater than B, firstly it checks is A greater than B. Yes, right? Now again it will check is A greater than C. No, then C is the largest number, right? So that means, and in the else part it is written that if B greater than C, B is greater than C, right? B is greater than C. No, it is not true. Means 1 is not greater than 9. 9 is greater than 1. So that means it will print the else part, this part. That is C is the largest number. So ultimately what did we observe? That the last variable contains the largest number, that is C. So hence C is the largest number. Okay. Now let us execute the code once and let's see. So I already have the code which I tried. So let's see whether it works or not. Okay. So this is the code, my dear friends. This is the code, and here int A is declared as 5, as you can see, B is declared as 1, and C is declared as 9. So now if A is greater than B, that means what? If 5 is greater than 9, right? If 5 is greater than 9, is it true? No, it is not true. Then again it will check is, sorry, if A is greater than B, that means is 5 greater than 1? Yes, true, right? Then it will go inside this loop and it will check is 5 greater than 9 also. This time it is false. That means 5 is not greater than 9, 9 is greater than 5. That means it will go to the else part, this part, and print that C is the largest number. That means 9 is the largest number. Okay, and this else part, it will again check with, firstly we had checked with A and C, A and B, but we didn't compare B and C, which is the largest among the two. That comparison is also left, my dear friends. So what we shall do is that in the else part of this if else statement, we shall put if B greater than C. So that means if 1 is greater than 9, then it will print B as the largest. But in this case 1 is not larger than 9, 9 is larger than 1. So for that it will go to the else part and print C out largest number is C, or C out C is the largest number. Okay, now let's try out this code, run this code. Yeah, so as you can see there is no error and no warnings, so that means the compilation is successful. Now let's run and see. Yeah, so see, as you can see on the screens, it is printing 9 as the largest number. Okay, so what were the values? The values were 5, 1 and 9. So which is the largest among the 3? Largest among the 3 is 9. So hence the result is shown as showing as 9 is the largest number. Okay, so I hope you all have understood this program. Now let's proceed to the next program. Now this program is also related to loops, right? As we have studied for loop, so we know that in for loop there is certain conditions. Okay, in for loop we know that there are certain conditions. So now this program will ask you, or is asking you us to print odd numbers up to 50. We are being asked to print odd numbers up to 50. So what we shall do, we shall look at the code. So as stated, using IOStream, using namespace std, include IOStream, all these I hope you all know, as we have done in the previous program. So let us look at the main function. So here int number, that means we have created a variable. We have created a variable named number. So let us suppose this is the variable. Now in this number we will store how many, or what is the maximum limit of odd numbers, what is the maximum limit of odd numbers we want to print. Means suppose I want to print all the numbers up to, let's say, 50. So here in this variable 50 shall be stored. In this variable 50 shall be stored. Okay, now let us go to the next part of this code, cin. So cout means it will display a message to the user that please enter your maximum limit value to print odd numbers. So as you can see, we have entered 50, as we want odd numbers up to 50. Okay, now what happens, it will take in the number from the user and store it in the variable. Okay, now again a cout, list of odd numbers from 1 to number r. That means it will give a display, this thing will give a display message to the user that list of numbers from 1 to, what is the number we have entered, we have entered 50. So list of numbers from 1 to 50 are. Now coming to the loop. Now coming to the loop part, in this part, as we all know that this first int I equal to 1, this is the initialization. So as we remember the syntax for a for loop, we had inside the for loop we have an initialization, then we have condition, then we have increment. So my dear students, this part, this highlighted part, as you can see on your screens, this highlighted part as you can see on your screens, this is the initialization part. This is the condition. This, my dear friends, students, is the condition. Then this part stands for the increment operator. Okay, now let us see how it works. So we have a condition, as we all know that mod operator, this modulus operator checks for remainder. It checks for the remainder. Okay, now there is a variable named I. Initially I is initialized to 1. Okay, now I less than number means 1 less than number, yes, true. Then if I mod of 2, I mod of 2, see this loop, what it will do, this loop will iterate this I value. So it will check I equal to 1, yes, true. I less than number means I is less than 50, yes, true. Then it will go to the if part. It will again check. It will again check that if I mod of 2, I mod of 2 factorial equal to 0 or not. That means if it is an odd number divisible by odd number when the I part when divided by 2 equal to 0 or not, equal to 0. Now what does it mean? It means that when you take out the modulus, it is not equal to 0. Okay, it should not be equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, that means what? It is a even number, but we want odd numbers. So I mod of 2 should not be equal to 0. See this operator, this line not equal to, it should not be equal to 0. Only then we'll know that this is a odd number, and then it will print the value of I. That means in this case I mod of 2 means 1 divided by 2 is not equal to 0. that means 1 is neither odd nor even. Okay, so let's go to the next number. Let's say I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus means 2. Now 2 mod of 2 not equal to 0. 2 mod of 2. 2 mod of 2 means 2 divided by 2. Does it have any remainder? It does not have any remainder, and the remainder is 0. Means this statement becomes false. So it will not print. It will get out of the loop. Okay. Then again it will check I plus plus. I plus plus, this time the value of I is, let's say 3. The value of I is 3. Now it will again check 3 mod of 2. That means 3 mod of 2 means 3 divided by 2. Is it giving a remainder 0? No, it is not giving a remainder 0. It is giving a remainder 1. Okay, so that means what? This condition I not equal to 0 means this condition is satisfied. So it will print, my dear students, it will print C out. That means the value of I, this time 3. Again it will check whether I plus plus. So this time the value in I is 4. The value of I is 4. So what we do is it will check 4 greater than 4 less than number. Yes, 4 is less than 50. Again it will check 4 mod of 2 not equal to 0. No, 4 divided by 2, the remainder is 0. 4 divided by 2, the remainder is always 0. 4 mod of 2 means 4 divided by 2, the remainder becomes 0. So it means that this 4 is not a odd number, so it will not print this line. Again I plus plus, this time inside the variable the value stored is 5. I holds 5. Now it will again check 5 mod of 2 not equal to 0 means 5 mod of 2 means 5 divided by 2, the remainder is 1. 2 2s are 4, remainder 1. Remainder is 1. Then it will print C out. That means the next number which appears should be 5. Like this the sequence goes on and on until you reach the last limit. Okay, now let us dry run this code and see whether it works or not. Okay, so this, my dear friends, is the code. Now let us compile this code once. Yeah, let us run this. So let us put a maximum value of 50. Let's say we want numbers up till 50, all the odd numbers up till 50. Okay, it is written please enter a maximum limit value to print odd numbers. So I want to print all the odd numbers up to 50. Now let's see whether it works or not. Yeah, it worked. So 1 3 5 7 9 11 13 up till 49. So if the limiting value is 50, so it will print up to 49 because 50 itself is again a even number, right? So I hope you all have understood the code. Let us go through the code once again. Int number, so number is 50, number was 50 which we had entered. So this part came popping to us that please enter the maximum value. We had entered the value as 50, so this number holds the value 50 now. Then a pop-up came, list of odd numbers from 1 to number means 1 to 50. So this was the initialization condition. This is the conditional part, this is the increment. Okay, so I hope you have understood this program. I mod of 2 not equal to 0. If you put equal to 0, it will print even numbers. Okay, it will print even numbers. So I want you all to try this last question as yourself as homework. Write a program to print even numbers up to 50. Okay, so this shall be a homework to you all. Please try it out at home and do write the code. Try writing the code and please run and see whether it works or not. And I hope you have understood what was explained in the previous codes, like largest of 3 number and print odd numbers up till 50. So you can enter any value and see, check whether it prints up till 100, until 70, until 80, all the odd numbers are being printed or not. And then after that, try this question, write a program, try this question to print even numbers up to 50. So the previous program was printing odd numbers up to 50. This time the program is about printing even numbers up to 50. Okay, so I hope you all have understood, and please do go through this video nicely and steadily so that you have a deeper understanding of the codes and C programming. So hope you all go through the video, and we shall meet in the next class, next lecture. Thank you.